Well, guys, I made a mistake. Real bad mistake. Just kidding. It's a light that I'm messing with. Dropped the waste tank, the black waste tank from the side. Kept the gray tank. The gray tank had a little bit of a leak in the bottom, but ended up getting that sealed up really good with various types of gap filler and spray foam insulation. And we got the expanding foam and there's lap sealant and things like that. Man, water, it will find a way. If there's a way for water to get through something, no matter how small it is, it makes it through. So, let's see what else is there. I think that's pretty much it. Other small little upgrades that have happened is the rally mirror. That thing is really, really cool. I thought that these were like different type of mirrors when they articulate, but it's just the way they set in there. It is 5 different mirrors, but it's set in there to give one consistent image. And it just works out really well. And then these sunshades. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. No, I'm going to have to set the phone down. So you undo the Velcro. And sorry you didn't get to see it, but they go to the corners and they store there, and they're real low-key, but whenever you get time to pull them back in, you just grab it, and I'm sure you're not getting to see this, unfortunately, because the phone is down, but this worked out great with the rally mirror, too, because it adds extra support at the top, and sits right in there. So really like that sunshade option, as opposed to having to take something and find out where to store it or fold it down. It just stores right in the sides. I painted this along with the same type of paint that we used on the vent cover and the electrical outlets there. Also, the solar panels have that type of paint. Started with truck bed liner as the paint on the panels. It did not want to stick to that aluminum at all. It was terrible. Had to scrape it all off. It was a big mess. But then ended up using this hammered stuff that works really great for metal. Shout out to my mom. She recommended this before we went with the truck bed liner, and I was like, no, I want truck bed liner, it's rustic, whatever. And I was wrong, and we did end up going back to this, and it actually turned out perfect. So really like that type of stuff. Show you what that looks like if you want. Got a couple spares. There's a ton of material in here, and it's not very thick, but it goes on. Like, you just get a lot for a little, as opposed to the truck bed stuff. Commercial break. This tool right here, these are little like wire clipper type of things. This one happens to have a locking mechanism on here, but this is Crescent brand or whatever. This has been the #1 most useful tool in this build more than anything else. I cannot tell you the amount of times I've used this tool for something. It's great for taking rusted screws that are stuck and twisting them out. You can cut wires and strip them with it. You can completely cut wires. I used it to cut and mess with some aluminum that needed to be removed. I've used it to grab pieces of wood and pull it out, rubber and cut it out or whatever. Literally use this. I mean, I've got like hundreds of miles on this, and it's still sharp. I never had to sharpen it or anything. You guys have seen that TV show Survivor. If I had to go on Survivor and bring one personal item, it would be this over a knife or anything else. This tool is like a lifesaver. It's been the best thing ever. So anyways, if you're building a van and you're doing a lot of pulling stuff out, or just basically anything, get one of these, and don't get something cheap. I don't think they have this brand available anymore, at least I couldn't find it. But get this tool, this type of tool, and it will make your life so much easier. You'll be shocked at how many times you use this. Thanks, Mr. Motorcycle. This tool. All right, last piece of Victron equipment. We did new lugs here for the batteries, or new terminals, and put in some 2-aught new cables on there. But ended up finding a great spot for the Victron DC to DC charger. Essentially, when this battery is full or the alternator's going and it's charging, any excess ends up going through here, goes through the 6-gauge wire that joins the harness and goes back and charges the house battery. So we're able to charge from solar, we're able to charge from running the vehicle, and we're able to charge from, we can actually plug in and use the multi-plus inverter charger as well. So you got a lot of options for keeping that battery completely charged. 50 amp fuse for that going in, and there's another 50 amp on the input to the battery as well. That concludes the video. So I know it's kind of long, but it gives you a really good idea of where we're at, where we've come from, what all's been done so far. And I think we're going to move really quick. We got the subfloor next, and we've got put the panels back on. A couple cool things for that. Using stainless steel hardware, so never going to get any rust. And we also threw that hammered paint on there as well. The panels overhang. I did that on purpose because it will offer some rain protection for the windows, which is great. Like when there's a light rain and you can have the windows open. But then we use these in the front where they overhang in the sides to get the extra support that it needs to make sure that the panels are not going to go anywhere. So, everything else is here in the garage, all stored up. Fridge, we got a hot water heater. We're doing a recirculating shower. There's an 11-stage water purifier that's going in. You get to see more about the Thetford toilet. The cassette toilet's really cool. There's a little hack with this sunshade for the Max Air fan that we're going to go over. And we're doing vents. These vents can be opened and closed in different portions. We're going to do 2 of them for the water on the box for the water heater, and 2 of them on the box for the battery and electronics. And the reason we're doing that is one of the vents is going to be facing outside, and one of them is going to be facing inside. So the ambient temperature, if the outside is more conducive to the electronics, maybe it's hot outside and we're trying to heat water, so we're going to open up the water heater to the outside. Or the opposite, it's cool outside and we have it warmer on the inside, heat's going. We open the vent to the inside and we can help regulate the temperature of the water heater to be a little bit more efficient. Oh, and there's a little motorbike about to go by. That's a bicycle with a motor. Cool. And oh yeah, so like for the battery, we can get a little bit more life out of it and treat it well. Lithium likes to operate at 69.5 degrees. We're going to do our best to keep regulating that temperature through inside zoning and outside zoning, and then how we do the installation. So last thing, I probably said that 10 times now. Last thing, we got a quote to do the installation. It was $2,000 to do 2 inches of spray foam thick, but the guy said, hey, this is the exact same chemical that we use. If you want to do it yourself and you've done all these other things by yourself, you can get a froth pack from Amazon. They're like $800, and it's the exact same thing. It'll do 650 square feet, which should be or cubic. It's a board foot, which is basically a foot. Oh, look, a baby deer. Look, a baby deer. Oh, it's so tiny. There's always stuff going on here. So we're gonna do the spray foam ourselves. $800 as opposed to $2,000. Absolutely. We're doing green glue sealant, the soundproofing sealant for all the junctions for the floorboards and for the boxes that we're creating in there. We've got some really cool things that you're gonna see. So stick around, subscribe. Hope that this wasn't too much information, but you got a good update. Thanks again.